Welcome, welcome everybody. Welcome to another simulation session over here. Those of us who are new, we do these sessions like maybe like bi-weekly or like sometimes weekly, if I'm feeling good the other Saturday. But today what we're gonna go over is like there's something I've been practicing a lot myself is plotting out like breaking down high time frame to low time frames and then looking at low time frames for entries and then looking at the high time frames for potential targets, right? Like where price can potentially move. So first, before we do that, we're gonna pick a random date over here, random date generator. So we're gonna go over here, we're gonna choose around 10 dates. They will be between, let's do, this is September 2020. Let's do like back 2 years, right? Let's just do back 2 years. Let's put it at 17th. Oh, let's go to like August. No harm there. Let's go to September 2020. We only want Sundays because that's where the market's open. And yeah, let's get these dates over here. So the dates we're getting are a bunch of 2019, bunch of 2018. We got August 2019. We got June 2019. We got March 2019. Let's do March, 10th March. Yeah, let's do March. All right, let's do what Summer says here. Let's do 10th March. Got 10th March, close this. So 10th March, okay. All right, so this is the Forex simulator. Once you install this, I think I highly recommend you to have this. I mean, if you don't, then I think if you do get it, like once you get the simulator, what's going to happen is you will get two licenses. So I think maybe like team up with someone and pay like half and half, and then like two people can share one account over here. So just got to make sure that GPJPY is all updated and downloaded. Okay, it's updated. Got to update the news calendar here. So once it's updated, we're going to go to new simulation. We're going to choose our pair, which is going to be GPJPY. We're going to go towards March 10th. 10th of March. Currency is going to be in pounds. Starting balance is going to be, let's do a starting balance of about, let's do my second investment, my second deposit was 3,500. Let's do 3,500. So we're going to start with 3,500. We have New York close over here. Leverage, let's use like, 400. Spread is going to be variable because we want the market spread, so we're going to keep the spread variable here. Initial history on the charts is probably going to be around 150 days, and then we're going to start simulation. Right, so now we need our charts loaded, so we're going to go towards the weekly. Then we're going to get the daily chart up. We're going to get the 4-hour chart up. Now, remember, when you're doing simulations, you're not keeping in mind what the fundamentals are saying, like, what the news is saying, what someone coming out is saying. It's not that. Like, while you're doing simulations, you're only looking at technical analysis and price action, right? So I think that's how, okay, what's this? We got 15:30 1 hour, 15:30 1 hour. We need the 4-hour, daily, and the weekly. Perfect. Now we gotta open. Oh, I guess these charts are open. No, I guess they open automatically. Okay. There we go. Now we got extra charts open. So probably gonna close this 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4-hour, daily, weekly. Perfect. So we got the weekly chart right over here. Gonna put on our naked templates over here. Naked templates. Go to the daily time frame. Do the same thing. Let's go towards the 4-hour, 1 hour, 30-minute. This is also really good practice for me as well. I kind of like do simulation sessions maybe like twice a week for my own good. What's this? It's amazing feelings. First time on Zoom with. Oh man, I don't know about the amazing feeling, but yeah, thank you, thank you. All right, so this is where the market is opening, and where the market is opening right over here now. If you see in the weekly rejected that level all the way up there. Let me see if I can get this over here. Let me just see this. Was it charts? No, it wasn't charts. Was it time frames. No, customize. We need to customize, and we need to bring shapes. Oh, how can we bring shapes? Line studies. Oh, there we go. We got the shapes right over there. Okay, awesome. So we got the shapes right over here. We have resistance forming at the top and side. Obviously, when we're looking at the intercession levels, this doesn't really matter, right? So we're going to go down to the daily time frame now. So looking at the daily, daily is being rejected from up there at 148.330. If you can look at the price on the right hand side, and we're coming down to potential support. Price actually gapped down. So now we have to see that if this is an important gap on the smaller time frames, like where the price gap down, we have to see on market structure if this was some sort of an important level here or not. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the 4-hour time frame, and looking at the 4-hour, what we have here is price actually did gap below this support, right? So this was some sort of a 4-hour support, and it seems like price did actually gap below that support. So now let's clone this and let's take a look on the 1-hour time frame, and let's see what's happening here. 1-hour time frame is also, like, you know, this also makes sense. Now price is gapped below. So whenever price closed, let's say price closed on a Friday, right? Let me just make this scale fix here. Let's say price closed on a Friday. So before price closed, price created a support right at this point. So if support was created on this point, and over the weekend, if price is, like, you know, opening right over here below the support, this means over the weekend something happened that moved price below support and price came down, and now it should retest this area and then continue down. But if it needs to fill the gap, it needs to break above this area. So we're just gonna monitor this, and then we're gonna move on towards our session here, right? So let's go towards the 1-hour, and oh wow, yeah, see, we came up, we rejected this area, and then price started falling. So this is, in these situations, this is when, you know, gaps usually don't get filled. So we can see here, I guess this was the first candle here giving us confirmation that price should continue moving down, bearish, and then volume came in and price came down. Okay, whatever. Perfect. Let's go to our New York open right now. Let's look at the news. We're looking at 3:30. This is 1300 hours. So this is 8:30 a.m. So this is London Open. If you look at the time, you know, price is coming back up to this area here, London Open. This is 4 a.m., 5, 6. This is 6 a.m. Eastern. This is when I'm usually coming through the charts, and this is when I'm usually looking to see that, okay, what kind of problem we can get ourselves into. So looking at the daily candle, it came up above this area and came back down below. So, you know, nothing really happening here. Like the daily candle is like in a small bullish candle. So we're going to go towards the 4-hour time frame. And now looking on the 4-hour, what we see is that we had support right here. You know, price came up above this support, this candle came above this support, and then the next candle is coming back down this support. Now, the thing is, this candle hasn't really closed yet, but what this candle did, this candle broke the low of the previous candle. If this candle broke the low of the previous candle, and it's also coming below this area, this means there's a high probability price can continue moving bearish towards, like, you know, down to the support at 143.687. That's what we're anticipating, right? So in the high time frame, we're kind of like visualizing what price can basically do. And when we can visualize it, we're like, okay, like, you know what? Now we got to look for confirmations on a small time frame. If this 4-hour candle closes above this area, then, you know, price is going to continue moving up. But as long as it stays below this area, I think there's a very high probability that overall we can continue moving down. So this is what I see right now. Let's take a look on the 1-hour time frame. Looking at the 1-hour, we had, wow, man, this is crazy. Like, we had support. This candle came all the way down, it made like a big wick over here. Based on the 1-hour time frame, we can't take a sell because the stop is going to be way too big. We can't take a buy because, you know, candle is bearish. So we're going to go to the small time frames and let's see what's going on. Now, looking at the 30-minute time frame, maybe this is an area of interest right over here, right? Right over here, price coming down over here and creating some sort of a, I mean, this was support, you have resistance, and then potentially you have another, some sort of a resistance forming here. Now, let's take a look on the 1-hour again. And let's take a look at, now let's break it down from like recent zones, right? So recent zones are basically when you have a candle closing like this and you're looking left, maybe this is the area we're looking at right over here, right? Because as price opened here, it created resistance, came down, this candle broke up, came back down to the same area. Now 1 hour candle is closing above that area. So if I want to clone it on the 30-minute time frame now, it kind of looks like this. That maybe we're creating a recent support in this area because, you know, candle came down, candle closed bullish. We have a support formed. So if we have a support formed, maybe the next candle can continue moving bullish, right? Now, before I was looking at the fact that, okay, maybe like, you know, we were looking at these zones, but we're looking at recent price action. Price is creating support. So there's some sort of a higher probability that price can essentially continue moving up. So I think in that case, it would be a good idea to probably go for a buy. Yeah, I think that could be a pretty good idea here. So probably gonna risk 2%. Yeah, probably gonna risk 2% because the only thing I see right now is that we're moving into New York session. We're not thinking about the Asian session or the London session. No, we're just thinking about moving into New York session. So as we coming into New York session, what happened was that price made a high at 144,816, came down, and now the 30-minute candle is creating a support, right? So when a 30-minute candle is creating a support, this means that the 30-minute support is stronger than a 15-minute support, right? Because if the 15-minute candle creates a support, where is that? Right over here. If the 15-minute candle creates a support, now you see there's a lot of confusion here because supports on smaller time frames, they are weak confirmations. Supports on 30-minute time frame is a stronger confirmation than the 15-minute time frame. So I'm just going to trade the way I trade in the live session. So basically the whole idea is going to be that, okay, if a support has been formed on the 30-minute time frame, I think the next candle should respect the low. Wow, this is pretty big, man, 180 pips. Should respect the low and continue moving bullish. GJ has a lot of volume over here. So notice how GJ has a lot of volume here. You know, this is like 18, 19 pips. So this is normal, right? So now, if the same support was formed in the 1 hour time frame, then you would say, okay, you know what, that's a much stronger support form. Now, when we look on the 4 hour bias is bearish based on price action. I agree with that. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. 1 hour candle also went bearish. It's very bearish. I agree with that. Overall is also bearish. But here's the thing. If the overall daily is bearish right over here, right? The smaller time frames, we're getting intersession hints. This is called intersession hints. Like we're getting hints on the session level that we may be continuing moving up. So let's do like a 16. All right, so we're gonna risk like, you know, like let's do like 1.5%. Stop loss is going to be like 19 pips. Yeah, perfect. So I mean, price should respect this low and continue moving up to retest the high at 144,800. That's the whole idea. So we're going to take this trade. Let's play it. Pretty nervous here. All right. Why isn't it playing? Okay, it's playing right now. Yeah. So I think that's going to be the whole idea here. That now we're looking at the fresh zones. Now we're not looking at this area here. We're not looking at this area here. Like we're keeping this in mind, but we're not really basing our trade based off these areas here, right? Because we're only now this is a fresh zone over here. For this candle to move up, it needs to respect the low of the previous candle. And as pre-New York is a volume session, there should be volume in this session here. So we're keeping an eye on this time over here. And yeah, we're keeping an eye over here. So far, we're moving into 5 pips and 6 pips and 4 pips. 15-minute candle is about to close. We're going to wait for the 15-minute candle to close. And 15-minute candle is closing. Oh, 15-minute candle has closed at this point. We look at the 15-minute candle. It's also moving bullish. But 15-minute, they are weak confirmations. So we're going to stay with the 30-minute right over here and probably going to, like, you know, close, close partials. We're going to close partials. And then I'm going to put my stops to break even and let it run. Yeah, that's it. Let it run. This 30-minute candle is also about to close, and we're going to wait for this 30-minute candle to close, which is going to close right now. And right now, okay, perfect. So the 30-minute candle has also closed right now, right? Now, if we think that this 30-minute candle, okay, let me just zoom in. Okay, so if we think that if the next 30-minute candle is going to continue going up, and I'll tell you why we should be thinking like that. If we think this next 30-minute candle is going to go up, there's a clean candle to the left for it to continue up towards 144,600. You know, 144, 600, there's an opportunity right there for candle to continue moving up. So if we think it's going to continue moving up, I think this is the point where you could add another position anticipating price to continue to move up. So probably gonna lower down the risk to 0.5, measure the stop, which is going to be around like 10 pips. Take another buy, have the stops below the previous candle. Probably going to modify the first position stops here as well below the previous candle, and just let this run as well over here. Because hey, if there's volume coming at this time, and if price is making higher highs and higher lows, then it should fill this area here to the left hand side. Oh, it's moving. We're up like around 10 pips at this point. Now going to move stops to the other one and move stops on the probably going to take partials over here. Let's see if we can take more partials. So this was a good example of like adding positions at this point. I think that was pretty good. So yeah, and then we're just going to let this run and see if do fill that range. Oh, okay. We're moving further up over here. Probably going to close this second position we had and let the other one run. Is it safe to enter when price creates a high or low, creates a support unless price breaks a previous candle low or high? Well, the thing is that some questions are, okay, can we enter when the candle breaks the high over here? Now, here's the thing about breaking the high. Now, this is if let's say price is moving up. So let's say I took an entry right over here and my stop was down over here, right? And I knew that, okay, price is going to continue moving up. It's making higher highs and higher lows, so it should continue up to retest this high. If someone says, oh, yeah, I know it's going to move up, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait for price to break this high and then continue moving up. Now, that's lack of confidence, you know? So when you're doing that, what you're also doing is now, if I had an entry here, my stop was like, let's say 18, 19 pips. So if you had an entry up over here, man, your stop was like 24 pips, you know, like a good conservative stop. So that shows lack of confidence, you know, when things are happening like that. You know, so, but still, like if you're learning, if you're taking impulse entries with lower risk, I think I mean, I think that's acceptable. That's all right. So basically, beautiful. 30-minute candle is bullish. It's closing bullish. It's about to close soon. Is the time on my charts for GMT? No, it's New York close. So yeah, I mean, this is good. Now, I mean, if price is going to continue, now we got stops at break even, and this was a trade for the day. I think could have entered another one down over here, but this was a deep liquidity grab. This is like almost like 11 pip liquidity grab. Let's take a look on the 1 hour now. Okay, now looking at the 1 hour, right? If we're looking at the 1 hour now, it makes much better sense, right? Because we had resistance forming when market opened. Price broke this area, came up, created a high at this point. Price came down. This candle closed above this area. 1 hour candle closed bullish. Now this is the 1 hour support, right? So notice how we went from a 30-minute support, like a okay support. Now we're up to a 1 hour support, right? Now the 1 hour support is much stronger than the 30-minute support. So now I think 1 hour support should support price moving bullish. And yeah, as this 1 hour candle forms, we might be able to move our stops below the 1 hour candle to actually trail the stop losses. Yeah, so see this candle is still twitching and forming. I mean, now we're just waiting. Now we're just in a trade and we're just anticipating price to move up. So if you see right over here, this low has been formed on the 30-minute. So probably going to move the stop below the 30-minute low. And if this breaks this area, I think we will have a good trade. But if it rejects this area, then there's a possibility we will get stopped out. That's the thing about runners. So yeah, I mean, if we get stopped out, we get stopped out. But You know, if price keeps on running, then it keeps on running. Let's take a look on the 4 hour. It looks like 4 hour, if it starts rejecting here, looks like we can come up to this point, at this point here, maybe by the next day or something. All right, candle's about to close over here. Beautiful. This is New York Open. We're moving into New York Open at this point. Let's take a look at how New York Open. Okay, so perfect. So this is New York Open right here, right? 30-minute candle left a huge liquidity wick. Huge liquidity wick. This is a huge, oh wow, man, we came almost down to a stop loss over here. So it actually made a huge liquidity wick, didn't stop us out. We're still in the trade. Looking at the 15-minute, 15 minutes also created a big monster candle. We're coming into New York Open. Now, New York Open has a lot of volume, and we know that with volume, price should break these highs and continue moving bullish, right? Yeah. That liquidity wick would scare me out of my position. Well, I mean, whenever you're leaving runners open, you're leaving them open knowing that they can get stopped out. You're leaving them open also knowing that they can continue running as well. You know, so there should be no scariness. So we see prices rejecting here, and that's, I guess, that's whatever. I guess that's what price needs to do, I guess, for price to continue moving up. The 15-minute candle's closing. We'll try to see if we can enter another position here, right? Because if we're thinking that this candle, 1 hour candle at New York Open is going to break the high, and on the 4 hour, also 4 hours now the 4 hour looks like the 30-minute candle right over here, right? See this big liquidity? We're looking on the 4 hour, big liquidity. So if we think 4 hours is going to continue moving bullish, I think we can get another entry on the smaller time frames if they close some sort of oh wow, look at that, bullish. Yeah, look at that 15 minute. 15 minutes is about to move bullish over here. I think this could be a good entry right over here, right? Because if the 30-minute candle is closing like this, let's see how this closes, right? Okay, perfect. 30-minute candle closes over here. 1 hour candle is still open. The 15-minute candle is creating, like, let's say, okay, let's see what the 15-minute candle did, right? 15-minute candle broke above this area with this big volume candle, right? We had a support form, 15-minute time frame, went up, this candle came down. This was a huge liquidity grab on the 30-minute. Candle went bullish. This candle, the bearish candle, had no confirmation for sells, right? And the candle closed bearish. Now this 15-minute candle is closing bullish, right? And if this 15-minute candle is closing bullish, and if we're looking at to say that, okay, what's the probability that the next 15-minute candle is going to just drop, breaking the support? And what's the probability that price will break this resistance as we're in like a high volume session right now? So those are the two things you're looking at, right? So since this is a simulation and I'm anticipating price breaking resistance, what I'm going to do is maybe I'm going to reduce my risk over here to like 0.25, put a stop below the previous 15-minute candle, which is going to be around, let's say, like, let's do like 14 pips, right? Oh, oh, hold on, look at this. Look at the spread over here. This is a huge spread, 6.9, didn't even realize this. This is a big spread, mate. So probably going to bring this down over here because this is news. We're having news right now. That's why the spread is pretty big. So yeah, hopefully we respect the support on 15-minute. If we don't, we lose like 0.25, you know, like no big deal. But if it continues moving up, I think that could be a pretty good trade here. Now let's take a look here. We're moving up to like, you know, 6 pips, 5 pips. Since this is a over trading trade, probably going to put it at break even at this point and let the rest run at this point here. I mean, if we do come up towards the 4-hour area here by tomorrow, I think that's going to be pretty good. Pretty good thing over here. So yeah, this candle is about to close. Let's move on to the next 30-minute candle. Let's see how that closes. Oh, 30-minute candle closed bullish. We're moving into, this is a new 4-hour candle at this point. See this? This is a new 4-hour candle. 4-hour candle closed bullish. Now there's a high probability for this candle to continue moving bullish too. So we're going to wait towards the NYSE. NYSE is the, you know, New York Stock Exchange open. So we're going to forward the candle. Oh, our position got stopped out. We're still in one position. So I think in an hour, I'm going to go to the gym and probably let's move forward 1-hour candle right over here. So that position is still open. We look at that trade. That was the first trade we took where it's moving at 96 pips. Probably going to close another 80%. So we have 0.02 running right now. So yeah, I guess that's it. That's pretty good. Probably want to trail this as well. Maybe we're going to trail it below the 1 hour lows right over here. And yeah, that's it. So let's move on to the next New York session. So moving on. Oh, hold on. What's going on over here? We broke above we broke above this area, so I guess I'm going to close this trade right over here at like 170. Yeah, let's probably close it. Haven't had that trade in a while. All right, let's move on to the New York session here. Oh my God, look at that, man. It's still moving. Look at that daily. Oof, that entire daily move filled all the way up to 147. That is crazy. That is nuts. This thing just kept on moving over here. So this is the Asian session at this point. Wow. Okay, Asian. We're moving on towards London Open. This is London Open, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. So this is 6 a.m. right now. We're coming onto the charts now. As we're coming onto the charts in this new session, I'm probably going to remove everything, all analysis, looking at the daily. Daily seems like we're rejecting this area over here because, you know, this daily candle came bearish. This was bullish. And then when another bearish candle formed, so we formed like a resistance. So it looks like daily came up over here and kind of like rejecting. So we're going to go down to the 4-hour time frame and let's see what more information we can find. Looking at the 4-hour, what's the first thing we see just by looking at the most recent 4-hour candles? Yeah, it's ranging. Exactly. It's ranging. There's resistance. We have resistance over here. Someone asked a question, so I'm going to give you a simple answer over here. How are you sure that 1300 hours is 6 a.m. on the simulator? I've been trying to figure that out when I backtest. So when the simulator starts, it starts at 0000. So 0000 is 5 p.m. Eastern. And then you can just do the math, right? You can just count it after that. Okay, so we got a click where it says sessions. Oh, this one here? Yeah, this is pre-New York right here. Look at this. This is pre-New York. 1300, pre-New York, and then we move to 1500. 1500 is your New York Open. So we're going to talk about price action now. Okay, so we got resistance formed over here. It looks like 4-hour was creating some sort of a support. And when we look left, and now we got to see that, okay, why is price ranging at this point? What's happening over here? So when we look left, we see that there was a bit of a range over here on the 4-hour here as well. And we had this big move after that range. So obviously now when we look back, we saw this big move coming back up towards this range. And we're just ranging right now. So now we got to go down to the 1-hour time frame, and actually let's measure this range over here. This range is 52 pips. So this is a pretty decent range to take a trade in, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the 1-hour time frame, and we're going to see if we can find some more information here. Now, looking at the 1-hour, mate, what we can see is that we are creating a support on the 1-hour, and we are also creating a resistance on the 1-hour. Right? So what we have here is we have identified the most recent support on this time frame and the most recent resistance on this time frame. Now we have to see that, okay, where will price go if we break this support, right? Price will usually go down to this support. We have a support down over here, and if we measure this range, we're like, okay, this range is the 84 pip range, so this is a pretty good range to take a price in. Okay, perfect. Now let's take a look at resistance here. If we break above this level, where can price move up to? So let's just see here. If we break above this level and we don't see anything to the left which is concrete, let's take a look on the 4-hour. Maybe we can come up towards this area right over here on the 4-hour. But first, even before we go up over there, I think a pretty good idea would be to have price come up to fill this wick, which is 32 pips, right? This is a 32 pip wick, so I think that's going to be a pretty good idea for price to come up to fill this wick. Now, let's take a look at this on the 30-minute time frame and let's see what more information we can find. That's where it's breaking the last higher low, I think. I don't know. I'm just looking at what's happening right over here. So let's look at the 30-minute. The 30-minute time frame is also, ooh, wow, man, yeah, that candle is pretty nasty. Like this is just like no trade at all. Can't take a buy because candle is bearish. Can't take a sell because we're at support over here. So probably gonna wait to see how this candle closes. If we do break below, I think we're gonna continue moving down to this area. But if you do break above, then there's a very high probability we're gonna come up to fill this wick, which is around 32 pips away. Here you look for support close to current resistance area so that we can move to next zone. Yes, that is exactly true. All right, looks like we're trying to break down. The 15-minute candle has closed. 15-minute candle is closing bearish. Now, this is where taking impulse entries, they become really difficult because if you take an impulse entry as we broke the low over here, we don't know whether the next candle is gonna retrace up and close up or like what's gonna happen. We basically just don't know that information. So it's better to wait for the 30-minute candle to close because if a 30-minute candle closes below this area, then there's a very high probability that the next 30-minute candle can essentially it can really continue moving bearish. So there's a bit of a waiting involved at this point. So also if the 30-minute candle breaks this low, we can continue moving down. But let's just see how this candle closes. I think a better idea would be if the 15-minute candle breaks the low, that's a weak confirmation, right? If the 30-minute breaks the low, then that's a very strong confirmation. Man, but the spread is the stop is going to be like around 30 pips and the range is even bigger over here. So I think that could be a good idea here. Oh, so we're breaking the low at this point. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. 15-minute is also breaking the low. I think if the stop is going to be, what's 30, man, it's pretty big. So let's do like 1.5%. The stop is going to be, let's put it at 25. So if you take a sell over here, looking at the 15-minute, it's above the 15-minute candle over here. It's also above the 30-minute over here. So I think this is good. I think if we do break below and there's a little bit of a retracement, we can enter another sell with strong confirmation for price to continue moving bearish. So we've broken the low. This candle is about to close. Candle is okay. Hold on there. Okay, 29 pips over here. Probably gonna close partials, close like 80%. Move stops to break even. What is this? Are we gonna correct this whole move down? Is that what's gonna happen? Oh, no way. We are gonna correct this move down. Looks like it. This is some crazy moves over here. 15-minute. Wow, was this news? I'm not sure if this was news or not. There's the next 15-minute candle. See, at this point, it gets really difficult to take a sell because now, man, your stop is basically you've missed the move, And this trade was only taken based on impulse entries because the higher time frame broke the low. Look, even the 1 hour broke the low. The 30-minute also broke the low. 15-minute didn't really take it based on the 15-minute because that's weak confirmation. Took it on the 30-minute because that's the much stronger confirmation. I think this was a resistance formed on the 15-minute, but still we were still at this support here, right? So probably now, okay, so what's this question over here? Sometimes it's worth lowering the risk and taking a bigger stop loss to catch a move. Would you agree? Yes. So you're always lowering the risk. So now look here, right? Even though my stop loss was 25 pips, right? My risk was like, let's say my risk was 1%, right? If my risk was 1%, and so let's say, for example, my balance was $1,000. If I had $1,000 balance, let me just get this one idea really straight here. So let's say I had $1,000 and my risk was 1%, right? Now, if my stop loss would be 10 pips, right? What's going to be my lot size here to risk 1%? Yes, 10-cent lots. So I'm going to use 0.10 lots right over here. Okay, makes sense. Now, if, for example, let's say if my stop loss was 20 pips, then I'm going to use 0.05 lots. Right? So even though now the risk always stays the same, the only thing that changes are your lot sizes. That's it. If you have a bigger stop loss, then your risk will remain the same, but your lot size is going to change. If GJ ranges for a long time, I think there won't be a retest, only impulse entry is possible. Yeah, sometimes, GJ just does its own thing. Now, if price is breaking down over here, I think it's going to be a very good idea to wait for some sort of like, a retracement on the 1 hour time frame or the 30-minute time frame, or maybe it's probably giving us another. I mean, if this candle closes bearish, I think we could get a continuation moving down over here. As far as I know, GJ, look at this 15-minute candle. It's about to close. If it closes right over here, I think it's going to be a very good idea to take an entry on the next candle. But if this doesn't close, then it is what it is, right? Oh, looks like we're going to get that close over here. That close is coming in. Oh, wow, look at that. It's going to close bullish. Look at that candle over there. Look at that 30-minute candle. 30-minute candle also closed bullish. We can't take a sell. So this opens the room for price to do some sort of a retracement, right? It also opens the room for someone to take a trade, right? So, oh, whoa, ho, ho, GJ. GJ came all the way up, man. This is crazy. God damn. I just don't even understand what's going on over at this time. Was this Theresa May? Oh my God. Yo, was this Theresa May? Was she being sacked at this time? I have no idea what's going on. This is where I just stay out. I just don't even understand what's happening. So I'm just going to be like, yeah, whatever. This is just madness. This is mad things over here. Let's take a look on the daily. Daily is just rejecting that area. 4 hour, oh my God, man. 4 hours correcting this whole move. 150, 160 pips. Hey, but you know what's happening? What's happening right now? What's happening right now is prices basically making a low. That's what I think what's happening right now. Price is just making a low at this point. So we want to see some sort of see now when things like these are happening, there are two types of people. The number one person is looking at this and say, oh man, like how can I get in? How can I get in? How can I get this trade? The second person, a more calm person, is looking at price action. And what they're saying is that, okay, no problem, no problem. We had a support over here. Price broke the support. Maybe some freak news retest, whatever, but that's okay. We anticipated price to come down to this support. Price actually did come down to this support, and we broke this support, right? So now there's a lot of volume in the market right now. When there's a lot of volume in the market, prices keeps moving. We don't know where it's going to stop, this and that, so there's no point in being cowboy. So what we do know from a technical perspective is that price broke the support. Now, technically, it should come up, retest this area, and continue down to retest the low wherever it makes the low, right? So that's possibly we can wait for at this moment, I think. So let's just see what happens. This is still not New York Open, so we're going to wait for the next 30-minute candle to close. All right, so let's wait for this candle to close and 30. Oh, okay. So here are the 30-minute candles. Okay, so 30-minute candles are doing some sort of they're doing some jump around. So I guess we should continue up to retest this high. Oh wow, man, this is 80 pips. This is 80 pips away. God damn. So now we could think that, okay, since a support is formed on a 30-minute, now, do you guys remember the first trade we took over here in the simulation where price, it made a support and the 30-minute candle moved up? So I think this could happen over here, but we're looking for a retest at this point to see if we do. So let's move on to the next 30-minute candle. Oh, that 30-minute candle did continue to move up. So we're approaching this area slowly. And if someone is saying if we break the previous high, enter a buy, well, that's totally up to you. But we're moving on towards this high over here because the idea is that price made a low, it has to come up, retest this high, and then continue moving down. So we're going to move on to the next 30-minute candle, see how it closes. Next 30-minute candle closed like a weak bullish candle. Now, if the next candle closes bearish, I think we can have a good move coming down over here and we can take our second trade actually. So looking on the 1 hour is still bullish. 1 hour closed bullish. So we have to wait for the next 30-minute candle over here. Let's go get the next 30-minute candle. Next 30-minute candle closed like a weak bearish candle. This may mean price will continue going up, can continue moving down. But if you look at the overall 1 hour time frame, 1 hour is still bullish over here, this candle here, right? And this 1 hour candle hasn't really closed. So we have created a low at this point. So we have to wait. Looking on the 4 hour, 4 hour is just forming right now, and 4 hours just doing what it's trying to do. 15-minute is consolidating, so there's no trade at this point. So let's wait for the next candle here. Oh, wow, look at that. Next candle moves bullish over here. Yeah, next candle moves bullish on the 1 hour. Let's take a look here on the 1 hour. It moved bullish. It closed with no wick on the top. What does a candle mean if it has no wick on the top? If a candle closes bullish and it has no wick on the top? Yeah, there's no range, right? There's no range, but we can't take a sell just based on that because we don't know where the next candle is going to go. So just for like curiosity purposes, I just want to see how we form a resistance at this point. So to say that if a sell does really make sense or not. So let's just wait for the 30-minute candle to close here because we want confirmations on the 30-minute candle. So the 30-minute candle closed bearish. 1 hour candle is still open. A 15-minute candle is closing bullish. 30-minute candle is closing like a weak candle, probably going to wait for the 1 hour candle to close as well to see if the sell would actually make sense. Let's wait for the next 30-minute candle. Next 30-minute candle closed like a weak bearish candle. Looking on the 1 hour, 1 hour closed bullish here as well, right? So this now there are two confluences, right? One confluence, no, three confluences. One confluence is that price made a support, we broke the support, came down, made a low. A low has been formed after we broke a support, a 1 hour support. So now there's a very high probability price should retest this low right over here, right? Secondly, the candle closed bullish with no wick on the top, which means there was no range for the next candle to go up. And the next candle closed bearish with no wick on the top. This means there was no bullish momentum that could have pushed this price up to made a top wick, right? This means there's overwhelmingly sells. Now, someone could say, okay, well, the bearish candle body is smaller, so there's less volume. That's correct, but there's actually no bullish volume. So if we take a lower risk over here, let's take like a 0.5 here, right? 0.5%. 0.5% stop is going to be like, let's say, man, these are pretty big stop losses. Let's say like 18 pips. We're taking a sell. Now, if price hits our stop loss, we're going to lose 0.5%. That's totally fine. But we have confluences that we're doing a retest. So this is just a trade we're taking for the simulation, just for like learning purposes. And I mean, if you do continue down, then perfect. If you don't, then whatever, right? That's my favorite setup. Bull candle with no wick, followed by bearish candle with no wick for the shorts. Yeah, makes sense. So we're coming down and we're coming into around like 7 pips and 13, 14 pips. Gonna close partials, close 80%, put stops at break even and let the rest run and move on to the next 30-minute candle. Oh, we got stopped out and price moved below. Okay, perfect. And the next candles did continue down to retest this low. All right, awesome. It works, right? Oh, there we go. Yeah, it works. Okay. See how also the candles are making lower highs and lower lows, right? So through all this simulation so far, we're in Tuesday. Now we're going to move on to the Wednesday. We discussed how you're looking at the high time frames and then you're breaking those high time frames into small time frames and then trying to take like trades on those smaller time frames here. So we're going to move on to another New York session over here. This is London Open and London Open. This is 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Moving back into 6 a.m. Eastern, right? Now, as we're moving back into 6 a.m. Eastern, what we see right now is that maybe, like, let's take a look on the daily time frame here and let's remove everything from this point. And what we have to see is that what are we trying to do here on the daily time frame? So daily candle, previous candle is bearish. Trend is still bullish on the daily because we're rejecting the support at this point. So just by looking at the daily, we're like, okay, maybe daily is going to start to range or we don't know what's going to happen. So let's take a look on the 4 hour over here. Looking at the 4 hour, oh wow, man. Now, just by looking at the 4 hour, What do you guys think next candle should go on the 4 hour? Bullish. Someone said, what's this? Someone said 146.90. 146.90. Yeah, that, I mean, it's just, there's just, it's, I mean, we have the support forming down over here, and this candle is like just bullish. And next 4 hour candle, you can just expect to continue, I mean, moving bullish. I mean, there should be no confusion over here, right? There's clean traffic here. We should continue moving up. Now, the 4 hour bias is bullish. Now we got to go down to the small time frames and we got to look for confirmations, right? Now, looking on the 1 hour, the 1 hour candle, we have closing bearish. Now, if we look at the previous analysis, right, this was our support. This was our resistance. This candle came up, rejected it. Next time when candles came up, it broke above this area. It broke above at London Open, and now price is coming down, right? So someone said, right, yeah, this is a retest, but this is not a retest yet. A candle closing bullish will be a retest. And if we get a retest, we're going to continue up over here, 146.900. This is a very easy analysis. Just got to wait for a candle to close bullish, really. So looking on the 30 minute is also coming down to the same area here. See, the candle is bearish over here, so there's no trade. So we're looking for a candle to close bullish. So the 30-minute candle is open now, and we're just waiting. Basically, we are just waiting. If now price breaks this support, then obviously we're going to continue down towards, if price breaks this support, we're going to continue down towards this area right over here, and then we can look for sells. But we need a bullish candle here to close so that we can say we're doing a retest. Beautiful. This is the day you'd want to go hard with your risk, correct? Yes. This is the day we would want to go hard with our risk. I mean, if you get a good stop, right? This is like a 22 pip range, and then above here we have around 50 pips. So it should be good. All right, let's take a look on the 15 minute. 15 minutes going good. 30 minutes about to close. Oh, wow. Look at that, man. Going crazy. I think since this candle is closing bullish, I think let's take a look on the 1 hour here. Yeah, 1 hour is bullish over here, 30 minutes bullish. Let's add a position over here. Impulse entry at the break of the previous bearish candle. Yes, this is where impulse entries will work. You know, must we always wait for candle to close to take the trade? If you're new, you're waiting for candles to close. Right, but if you have like experience, then you can take impulse entries. Impulse entries, they come with experience, right? It's going to be like 2.2, so let's risk around 2.5%, right? We're going to risk some of our profits. We're going to risk 50% of our profits on this trade. Going to put stops at like 23 pips, take a buy, and yeah, if this 30-minute candle closes bullish, I think, oh wow, okay, yeah, if this closes bullish, we are in a good position to continue moving bullish. If this candle closes bullish, price can continue up towards 146.90. Yeah, that's true. So this 30-minute candle closed above this area right over here. We want this candle to now respect the low down over here. Also, if we're looking at the 15-minute, we want 15-minute candles to continue closing bullish. So this candle is about to close. Now, if this 15-minute candle closes bearish, I may want to close a percentage of my position, right? Because then it can continue moving down and we don't want to lose a lot, right? So we're going to keep that in mind. So this 15-minute candle closed bearish, but it closed with a small body. Small body 15-minute means like low volume. There's also like a big rejection over here. So now we're going to wait for the 30-minute candle, and we're also going to wait for the 15-minute. Now, if this 15-minute breaks the low of the previous 15-minute, then I may want to close a percentage of my position, because we're keeping in mind risk management all the time. I'm not looking at profits. I'm just looking at how I can reduce risk at all times. So reducing risk, man, it's key. So this 15-minute candle should not break the low of the previous 15-minute candle. Okay, 15-minute candle closed. Let's look at the 30-minute candle. 30-minute candle closed bearish. We're still good to go in this trade because the 1 hour candle is bullish over here. So yeah, it looks good. Now for this 30-minute candle to continue moving bullish, I don't think that this 30-minute candle should break the low right over here. So what we're going to do is probably going to trail our stop loss at this point, trail the stop below the 30-minute candle over here, right? Perfect. I mean, if it can continue moving bullish, I think that's going to be pretty good. Also, I think if we break the high on the 30-minute, that could be a pretty good trade as well. Right here, second entry right over here as we break the high on the 30-minute. Okay, candle, 15-minute candle just closed. Let's take a look at the 15-minute candle. It's still pretty good. It's nothing to worry about. So we're still good. So let's keep this trade running. 30-minute candle should not break the low over here. So as we're coming to a close in 10 minutes, candle's going to close in 10 minutes. In 3, 2. I would add another position if the 15-minute breaking the highs, but you're already using 50%, so not ideal, I guess. Yeah, I mean, we're just waiting at this point. All right, look at that, man. 30-minute candle closed bullish. This is now a really, now even though this candle closed with no wick at the top, looking at the 1 hour is just screaming, buddy, we got to go up. It's just screaming we have to go up. So this is where you could add another position, keeping the stops below the previous 30-minute candle. So let's just bring it below the 30-minute candle here, right? So what's that going to be? That's going to be around like 12 pips. Let's bring it down to 12 pips. Let's add another 0.5%, take a buy, maybe modify these stops here as well. And yeah, if it's going to continue up, man, I think this is going to be the time for it to shine. Looking at the 1 hour candle is about to close in some time. Oh wow, okay, perfect. This is running up a storm over here. 15-minute candle just closed. 1 hour candle is running up. We're moving in profits on our bigger position at this point. So may want to close another 50%. Close partials, close 50%. Move stops to break even. Perfect. Move those stops to break even. And yeah, I guess we're good. Let's the run maybe take off some over here as well. Take off 50%. Move stops to break even. Perfect. We've secured positions at this point. New support in 30-minute, 1 hour time frame. Yeah, I mean, that's, oh, we almost got stopped out over here. Beautiful. 1 hour, 4 hour candle is also moving bullish. 30-minute candle is retracing right now. Wow, we closed just at the top. 1 hour candle is still open. So, I mean, if it continues on, it continues on. You know, if it comes down and stops it out, then it should at least, okay, one position got stopped out. It should respect this low and probably continue up to fill this wick at 146.90. Let's speed it up here a little bit. And if we do continue moving up, I think it's going to be a pretty good trade. We're looking at the time. 30-minute candle has closed. 30-minute candle closed like a bearish candle, still making those higher lows, higher highs. So this should continue moving up here as well. All right, 1 hour candle is also moving. We should continue up to 146.90. See the 1 hour candles, they're making higher lows and higher highs. So as they're making higher lows and higher highs, you're basically trailing your stops below the lows of the 1 hour candles. I totally get why you took the trade, why you added a position moving stops, reduce risk also. Yeah, oh wow, okay, we're approaching target. This is the point where I'm going to close most of the trades over here, close 90%. Yeah, 0.01 left. Yeah, whatever, we're going to close the whole thing here too. Done, perfect, right? Risking 0.5%, risking 1.5%. What are your thoughts about risking 10% per trade? I think that's very risky. 10% is, I don't know, man, it's too much, man. 10% is way too much. 10% is $100 on $1,000. 10% is 10,000 on 100,000. That's a lot. 10%. See, I max risk like maybe 3%. Oh wow, look at that. Oh, it's still moving. Damn, GJ. Wow, filled the whole range and continued moving up. Okay, perfect. Let's move on to the next New York session over here. Wow, man, this thing is just moving daily bullish over here. What's going on? Are we going to move to 150? Okay, so this is London Open, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Eastern. We are back at 6 a.m. Eastern. This is the point where we come to the charts. And when we come to the charts at this point, we look at the high time frame, you look at the daily, and we're like, okay, the daily candle came up to 148, right? Last time it came up here, we rejected, and we are come over here, and now we're also trying to reject. Now, since we are up almost 9.9% for the week, probably we're going to lock down 5%, and we can probably risk the rest 5% on these trades sometimes. So let's take a look on the 4-hour here now. 4-hour candle is coming up to the same area. Now, if we look at the 4-hour, this is pretty interesting here. 4-hour rejected this area. If you look at the date at the bottom on the 1st of March, we rejected this area before, and we're approaching the same area at this point right over here. Now, if the 4-hour is approaching this area, this also means that this is a resistance. This candle, let me bring my arrow over here. So this was resistance here. This candle broke above, and this candle is coming back down. And if this candle comes down, then this move up would be a fake out, and then there's a high probability we're going to continue down to this support right over here. So what we got to do is we got to measure this range, right? So these are steps. First step, you identify your support resistance, what's price is doing. Next step is to measure the range. If we measure from where price is right now down to support, this is a 40 pips. If you can get confirmations on the 1-hour time frame, I think that's a pretty good range. If you measure the whole range, this is around 60 pips, so perfect. Now we're going to drop down to the 1-hour time frame, and we're going to see what information we can find. Now, dropping down to the 1-hour time frame, man, so what we see is that there's a 1-hour candle that is closing below this resistance. So essentially, that move up was a fake out, right? So candle moved up, this candle came down, had to do a retest to continue moving bullish, but it closed back in the range. So if it closed back in the range, this means there's a 70%, there's a higher probability that price will continue moving down to the other side of the range, you know. So let's go down to the 30-minute time frame. So let's just plot this out on the 30-minute time frame. Let's just copy this to the 30-minute time frame. Let's go to the 30-minute. All right, so 30-minute time frame. 30-minute time frame is saying that, yeah, we should continue moving down. It's a 24 pip stop for price to continue down. It's like a 40 pip range. So I guess let's take a look on the 15-minute time frame. 15-minute is also making those lower highs and lower lows. Now, this is where you can use probably 15-minute time frame for it. So let's say this was a 24 pip stop, right? 24 pip stop, we want to use like 1% risk over here. And we're basically anticipating. So now this is the whole idea, right? Since this is GPJPY, this is the whole idea. Price created resistance, right? This candle here rejected. Next candle broke above this area. This candle closed at that area. Now this candle had to do a retest to close bullish for price to continue up, but this candle closed back in the range. Now, looking at GJ, there's a probability price can just continue moving down without a retest, and also there's a probability that price will continue up to do a retest and then continue moving down. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to use dynamic risk, and dynamic risk is where you're breaking up your position. So let's say I wanted to use 2%. I'm going to use 1% over here. I'm going to take a sell. If price comes up to do some sort of a retest, then I'm going to enter another 1%, making my whole trade like a 2%. Right? But if price continues moving down, then it is what it is. It's just, that's just GJ. Hold on there, buddy. Hold on there. What the fuck was that? Yo, listen, this happened in like first 2 minutes. In the first 2 minutes that happened. So I'm just probably gonna close this trade right over here. That was not planned at all. It happened in the first 1 minute, 2 minutes. So I don't know what the hell happened over there. So we're just going to ignore that trade. Let's just say that trade never happened. So yeah, we're in a range right now, right? So this is basically a range, right? This is a 40 pip range. So waiting for some sort of a confirmation here now for yeah, I don't know why that happened. So what I do know is that March 2019 was a very volatile month for the pound. So basically, if we break that, oh, whoa, okay, we're coming down. So if we break this support, we're going to continue down over here, and we can have the same kind of move we had over here, right? If we break that support. Oh, look at that. Candle broke and closed below that support. but the candle closed with no wick at the bottom. If a candle closes with no wick at the bottom, this means there's no range for the next candle to go down. So at this point, it becomes really, really risky for sells because candle has no wick. Even though it moves down, that's perfectly fine, but this candle has no wick at the bottom. And this candle is still open now. So this candle can just very well just do a wick up and retest and then continue down. So I think that's going to be a pretty good trade. If a candle can retest and continue down. 15-minute candle is about to close. 15-minute candle just closed. Let's take a look over here. 15-minute candle closed bullish. So 30-minute candle still open. We need this candle to close maybe over here, create like a resistance for a continuation down. I think that's going to be a pretty good trade. So we're going to wait over here. Wow, man, March had like full-on fireworks over here. There's no chill at all, man, crazy. All right, so the candle's about to close. Candle closed bullish. Looking on the 1 hour candle closing bearish. We can't take a sell because my voice is going right now. Okay, so 30-minute candle closed bullish. Can't take a sell because candle closed bullish. Can't take a buy because we're at this support. So there's no trade at this point. Basically, there's absolutely no trade. There's no trade at this point, mate. I mean, if this candle closes bullish back above this area, then we could possibly say, okay, we can continue moving up. But if not, then we can't really do anything. All right, candle's closing bearish over here. Perfect. Perfect. Candle closed bearish. Looking at the 15-minute candle, 15-minute candle is also bearish. Maybe we can take a sell over here. Anticipating the next 30-minute candle to go bearish. Let's measure this range. This is a pretty big, this is a big stop loss, man. I don't like this stop. This is like a 30 pip stop. So probably, since this is also a Friday, so probably gonna risk like 0.5%. And let's do like a 35 pip stop over here. Because if this is a 35 pip stop, let's say, the range is like 50, 60 pips going down all the way to the left, right? So it's, oh, it's a Thursday. Okay, it's a Thursday. Okay, so since that's a big stop, we're just going to use like, let's say 1% risk over here. My bad, my bad. So yeah, let's just see how this candle goes. If it continues down, it's perfect. If it doesn't continue down, see now, the 15-minute candle is coming up over here, and yeah, 15-minute candle is coming up over here. So probably gonna close 50% at this point. Yeah, no, not dynamic risk because there's a support over here. So if this candle is about to close, if this candle closes bullish, it doesn't make sense to take a sell, right? I mean, if you look on the 30-minute at this point, 30-minute candle is also, I mean, yeah, 15-minute candle is about to close. So let's see where it closes. If it closes, yeah, see it closed bullish, also now creating the support over here. So that trade, it doesn't make any sense now to hold. So probably going to close another partial over here. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, if this goes bearish, if we get some bearish confirmations, then we can take a sell. But yeah, no, right? Look at the 30-minute. 30-minute is ranging. Candles are, now this is a range. Now we have to close this trade because this trade now makes no sense at all because price is ranging. We have support. Price is ranging right over here. 1 hour candle closed. 1 hour candle closed like a weak bearish candle. Like no idea what's going on over there. So yeah, we're just waiting over here now. I mean, if a candle can close above the support, there's going to be a great buying opportunity going up. But if we get a candle closing below this area now, we can have a great selling opportunity coming down. Oh, look at that. We're going up and down. Up and down. Up and down, man. Look at this 15-minute here. Yeah, this is crazy. You guys know the best way to drink coffee? Best way to drink coffee is put some honey in coffee. Oh wow, look at that. This is a difficult day here today. Difficult day here today. Even though if we would have taken a trade based on the break of this high over here, the stop would have been massive and the range, smaller range. Yeah, no idea what's going on over here. We're approaching this resistance now. Are we going to break above or reject this area? Or let's take a look at the next 1 hour candle. So this is the start of the 4 hour candle now. Look at this 4 hour. 4 hour looks like it pulled up its pants. Looking at the 1 hour is in this range over here. Can't take a buy because we're at resistance. Can't take a sell because candle is bullish. So yeah, I mean, there's no trade at this point. It's just difficult. Like, we had trades on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. One day with no trade, that's very normal, And when you have a day with no trade, that's when you really start losing, you know. Someone is saying the bearish move was a fake out. Well, the bullish move was a fake out there as well, So we're just stuck in this range at this point. Oh wow, coming straight down now. Let's take a look how the next 1 hour candle closes. Oh, oh, I think this was a good trade right over here. If you look over here, right? This right over here. Candle came down, closed bullish, but this is way out of our trading time now. If you look at the time, this is 11 a.m. at this point. So 11 a.m. this is way out of our trading time. Candle closed bullish on the 30-minute, and there's a high probability for the next candle to respect the flow and continue moving up. This was the first trade we took in this simulation. If we go back, this was the trade right over here on the 30-minute. Right over here, candle made a high, came down, made support, move up. So it's the same thing happening right over here too. Price moved up. Trading in the range is okay if there's enough range. Yes, it's totally fine. You can trade in the range if there's enough range. So if you measure this range, this is a 38 to 40 pip range. So it's pretty good. So let's move on to the last session here for Friday. Let's forward this. And oh wow, man, candles are still kind of like moving like this. So we are moving into London Open right here. London Open. This is 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Eastern, moving into a Friday. And when we're looking on the daily time frame here, is that the daily candles are sort of trying to move bullish, but they're also rejecting this area right over here. So if the daily candle is rejecting this area, if we rejected here once, then there's a very high chance we will reject here again. And for this daily candle to move down, it needs to respect the high of the previous candle and then continue moving bearish. So let's take a look on the smaller time frames here and let's see what more information we can find. So looking on the 4 hour, what we do see is that we're creating some sort of a resistance at this point. Just garbage, man. This is just garbage. Look at this. Even on the 1 hour here, wow, I mean, just mental. Just mental stuff happening here on the 1 hour time frame. Let's take a look on the 30-minute here if we see something. Nothing. Even nothing on the 30-minute here as well. So yeah, I guess this is it. We're just going to enjoy the profits of the week, and yeah, I guess we're just gonna call it a day over here. I mean, if we break out of this support, we can continue moving down. And if we break out of this resistance, we can continue moving up. So let's take a look in the weekly here. Let's see what the weekly is saying. Weekly is whatever. Daily is like this. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing going on. Absolutely nothing happening at this point, mate. I mean, if we reject this, if we see a resistance forming, I guess we could take a sell and we can hope for price to continue moving bearish. But if that doesn't happen, then it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. Yeah. I lose all week's profit on this day, my problem. Well, just don't trade, or just reduce your risk and then try to look for trades by reducing risk. Because at this point here, I mean, there's absolutely nothing that we can do over here. There's nothing happening at this point. See that? 1 hour candle closed like that. What's the next one's going to do? Go up to the resistance? Yeah, that's it. Let's look on the 30-minute. 30 minutes also ranging. I mean, if you really, really do want to take a trade, I think we could do this. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. Oh yeah, look at this, right? If the 1 hour is breaking the low over here, if it's breaking the low and not breaking the high, I think it should continue moving bearish because we're also at this resistance. So this is going to be like let's do like one last full margin trade, right? Let's do full margin trade. So we're up like 10%, risk like 1%, sometimes risk like 1.2%. So let's risk 10% over here. Stop, let's put our stop at like 13 pips, 15 pips. Let's take a sell here. If we move down, we move down. If we move up, we lose the profits for the week over here. But since the 1 hour broke the lower here, it has a higher probability to continue moving down to at least like, I think 10 pips would be perfect. Yeah. So this is a gulag trade. Someone in the gulag, full margins every trade I take on the live stream, you know? They're like, oh, Raja took a trade? All right, let's full margin this trade. Yeah. So moving up, let's put our stops to break even. And oh, nice. We're actually up above 10 pips over here. 12 pips, 14 pips. It's a 3 lot on a 4th. Oh, okay. Let's just close right over here. Yeah, I guess that was a fun trade here. Oh, we moved further down. This is 9 a.m. right now, 8 a.m. No, 10 a.m. Yeah, just range. Friday, just range. Awesome, perfect. So what did we do in this simulation? We basically looked at the high time frames and then we drew support resistances and then we broke down those high time frames into low time frames to look for confirmations to enter. We also talked about some trailing stop losses and also adding positions on a winning trade just a little bit. So I think this was a good refresher for all those who just joined. I think it was a good refresher for you guys as well. This was recorded. It will be in the database. People who don't have access to the database yet, it will be placed in a Google Drive and the link is going to be sent out in the general chat. Actually, I'm going to send it out in the announcements so it doesn't get lost, so everyone can see it. All right, everyone, have a good Sunday and we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, no, it's a Saturday today. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll see you guys Monday. All right, take care, everybody. How do you end this?